Hello, Jetsetters. This is very exciting. This is my very first live stream. I honestly have no idea what I'm doing, so please work with me while I figure this thing out. Um, Thank you for all of your birthday wishes. As you can probably imagine, like many of you, would rather be in the sky than on the ground, but we're all doing what we need to do to get through this time, and I'm doing the same thing, which involves staying here in my apartment. So I wanted to just try out this live streaming thing. I saw, my friend Sam Chui did one just the other day, and it looked like a lot of fun. And so I thought I'd do one too. Listen, I'm just here to kind of hang out with you guys. What I've been doing lately is the premiere feature, and on my new videos, which come out on Saturday mornings, and that's been so much fun because I get to chat with you all in the chat box, and I figure this is another way to do it. So I am just going to say I'm absolutely overwhelmed by every one of these happy birthday messages. That's crazy. Thank you all. Look, I'm happy to just sort of hang out and answer some questions. It's good to see some friends. I see Blake Edgington and Billy Gilbert from Gilbert Travels, a couple of great YouTube channels I really enjoy watching. So listen, shoot your questions my way. And while you're thinking of what to do, I wanted to share something I've shared over on Instagram the other day. And that was this book right here. And what was really neat is a few of you actually recognize this book. Its copyright date is 1993, and you can see there it is. This was my book. This was the book that got me into aviation in the very first place, and it has some really oldies but goodies, including the Shorts 360. And if any of you remember the Shorts 360, this was my very first flight. It was with American Airlines. Flew up to Washington D.C. National Airport, and really good one there. So I know a lot of you have asked. There's somebody. Looks like somebody's got the book. That's awesome. And let's see. It looks like I've got a question here. How do I combat my emissions released from flying? Well, thank you, Owen. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of really cool carbon offset programs that some airlines provide, which is a real positive thing, of course. And then also, there's a program that I came across last year that I want to learn more about that basically does carbon offset programs for airports or at airports. And I'm desperately trying to remember the name of it, and I can't. So I will highlight that sometime soon. But good question there, Owen. Thank you. Looks like worldwide transport. Have I flown Qatar? No, that is a huge gap in my flying experience. I definitely want to fly the Q Suite sometime soon. What are my thoughts from Jim Brown on airlines extending elite status? What are my thoughts on airlines extending elite status? I think there are far more important things for airlines to focus on right now than our status. Look, I'm like a lot of frequent flyers. I take an undue amount of pleasure in earning status with an airline, and but look, they got to take care of their own right now. There are a lot of people who are in an ambiguous place relative to their job. And so I want the airlines focused on that and getting flying again, and then we can sort out this whole elite status sometime really soon. All right, general aviation. Will I ever fly to Lukla? I certainly hope to. I've seen some great videos from folks, including Noel Phillips, about flights to Lukla, and it looks like an amazing experience. I definitely want to try that, but check out that video in between. Let's see. Which airline is the best to fly? That's a very impossible question to answer because it depends on where you're going, right? My favorite flights, though, have probably been, let's see. Number one is the Island Hopper with United. Guys, I've done that 3 times. I did it once a few years ago. I got to write an article for Airways magazine about it. And that was maybe 3 years ago, before I had the channel. And then I did it with the channel's creative director, Suzanne, who is also my girlfriend. That was my birthday present last year. She agreed to go with me on that, and we had a blast. And then a friend of mine is a United Airlines pilot, and he wanted to do it, and so I did it a few months later again with him. So 3 times the island hopper, but that's definitely my favorite flight by far. Let's see here. What do we got here? Do you have any flight logging websites? Yes, Steve, I do. I use Flight Radar 24. I've got to clean it up because, and this brings up a good point. We had a really cool trip scheduled just in a couple of weeks that I've got to pull out of there. So we were scheduled to go from here in Greensboro, North Carolina, the greatest airport on the planet, in my opinion. I bet many of you will disagree with that. Anyway, fly from Greensboro to Atlanta and then on to Santiago de Chile with Delta. Then we're going to fly over to Easter Island with LATAM. And then from there, there's a once weekly flight to Paviete, to Tahiti. So we're going to go over there, spend a few days, and then come back with Air Tahiti Nui and American. And we got to cancel all that. And what's interesting about that whole experience is the most proactive airline by far is, hey, Jordan, yes, Greensboro is the best. Thank you so much. You know it. But anyway, the most proactive airline in that whole experience was LATAM. They've been emailing us, proactively. And whoa, thank you so much, Tate. That is awesome. Thank you so much. I will answer that question in just a second about flight training. Thank you very much, Tate. You're the man. So let's see. So LATAM has been super proactive about communicating with us, and the other airlines have just kind of been hanging back. I think that's just an interesting note. But Tate's question was about flight training. Yeah, I've mentioned a couple of times I began flight training. I did everything. I solo, did my cross country, all of that. And then I developed this sort of weird thing where I get headaches, but instead of just pain, I actually go blind. I lose my sight. It's kind of unpredictable. And as a result, I thought it was best that I not fly. But yeah, it's such a great feeling. If anybody has done it, there's nothing quite like you being up there in an airplane by yourself, just you and the air. That's great. But flying this way is good. I saw a question go by from Eben, I think it was, asking about my very first class flight. And that was actually a flight with Air France in their A380 from Washington Dulles Airport over to Charles de Gaulle in Paris. And that was my first time flying first class. It's actually, arguably my first video on YouTube because it was the first one I posted with my face on it, right? Where I introduced myself to the world. And I can remember being so nervous, like filming in the lounge, talking to the camera. But anyway, that was a blast. It was a great flight, really short, really too short. Those flights from the East Coast over to Europe just are so fast, it's difficult to really enjoy them for all they're worth. Hey, I see Owen is asking about whether I would do a combo with, thank you so much, First Class Max. Thank you very, very much. Whether I would do a combo with Sam Chui. Look, I think doing the collaborative videos, the collabs with other YouTubers are so much fun because, well, a couple things. First of all, obviously, if we're making videos about airlines on YouTube, we probably love aviation, so that's pretty cool. But then the second reason is it sort of takes I hope this isn't offensive to any of my fellow YouTubers, but it takes kind of a quirky kind of person to be willing to put yourself out on YouTube and make these videos. So, thank you so much, Rasmus. I appreciate that. So we have a lot in common, and so that's a lot of fun. I've gotten to meet, Paul Stewart, Dennis Bunnick, of course, Blake Edgington, Sam Chui. But look, anybody, I think it's so much fun, and Blake agrees. He gets it. Let's see what else. What else have we got here? What do you think of KLM flying their last 747? Look, I am. Thank you so much for that, Gelmonte 0509. Thank you. Obviously, this is wow, Tasha. Thank you so much. Bucket list of places to go that's not work related. Yes, I will talk about a bucket list of places to go in just a second. But back to that 747 question. I, for example, as weird as this is to say, was really looking forward to being part of the retirement of Delta's MD-88s. And I think that in all likelihood, I don't, I probably won't get to do that because I think it's going to happen as a result of this current situation. And, look, this is really difficult for people in really meaningful ways. Thank you so much, Realist Reviews. Thank you, thank you. And what I, so in very real ways, which is to say their careers and their jobs and so forth. And so I don't want what I'm saying to come across as anything diminishing that. But as an aviation enthusiast, it's really, I get a lot of joy out of celebrating the retirement of a particular type of aircraft. In fact, I had nearly booked. I was getting ready to book the. Oh, thank you so much for that, Fanfi Crooks. Getting ready to book the last KLM 747, but of course that's happening too soon. And that's just so sad to me as an aviation enthusiast. It really, truly is that these aircraft are kind of being put out to pasture without a proper aviation enthusiast goodbye, as strange as that is to sound. I had a question earlier from Tasha about a bucket list of places to go. Yeah, there's a great travel quote that says, I haven't been everywhere, but it's on my list. There is nowhere I don't want to go. And look, my favorite places really are kind of remote islands. St. Helena, for example, which I look forward to. Thank you so much, Michael. I don't think I can top Noel's fried chicken. That was pretty epic. If you haven't seen that, you've got to watch his helicopter video up to Everest Base Camp. It's one of the funniest things out there. So I love remote islands like St. Helena, Pitcairn Island. There are all these places like that are just really remote, interesting places, and kind of illustrate the fact that humans can live pretty much anywhere and make the most of it. So that's pretty. Let's see. Hey, Moshe Arcade. How many miles do I have on Delta? Well, I'm a million miler, which is like, sitting in a seat for a million miles. And all right, Alan, I'll get to you. Let's see. But then frequent flyer miles, I don't know. I try to keep that relatively low because it's a depreciating asset. Question was about whether airlines should be bailed out. It's beyond me. I'm not an economist. I don't know the effect of that. My expertise in this area is limited to assigning random Jeb score points to these to flights. I mean, it's really, I'm a passenger experience guy. Can't really speak to the. Thank you so much for that last pound. That was awesome. All right, let's see. Will I ever fly the Romanian airline to Rome? Aviation 737. Awesome question. Suzanne and I have a running joke because she is a Star Alliance fan. I'm a SkyTeam fan, and I'm desperate to fly to Rome, and we just have to get her on board with it. She's we'll see. Oh, thank you so much, Lawrence. Are you currently wearing? Oh, wow. Okay, so there's like this subset of you all who recognize that I'm kind of a watch geek too. So I love wings and watches, I like to say, and whiskey too, but wings and watches. And I love any watch that is travel related. So something that has either a GMT movement or a second time zone on it. To me, watches are amazing because it's a little tiny piece of machinery that has to run all the time. Like if you think of a car, you turn a car off with a watch. They're running all the time. It's also kind of a work of art in a way. So it's pretty cool. All right, keeping up with these questions. How do you pop your ears and deal with constant pressure change? Chewing gum, yeah, yawning. Those are all good tips. It really isn't a problem for me. I guess my ears balance better than some, so that's pretty good. Hello from Norway, Juan saying, and I should come there. Absolutely. Norway, I've never been. I have never been to Norway, so that's high on. Do I keep safety cards? No, I don't. I know that a lot of folks do keep them, but I don't, because I think that the next passenger might need to read them. And I'm not sure that they always get replaced, so I don't collect those. Um, what is my favorite African airline? Oh man, favorite African airline. I have flown with Kenya Airways. I have flown with South African Airways, and then I flew with Air Kenya, which is kind of an airline that flies within Kenya. That was great. Whoa, thank you, Mark. Wow. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you very much, Mark. I can talk a little bit about the Brooks Group here in just a second. But I had a great flight with South African Airways on their A350 from Johannesburg to JFK. That was my last. Oh, this makes me sad. That was my last long haul flight, probably for a while. Wow. Thank you, Tate. Thank you, Gary. Oh, do I have plans to go to the Airline History Museum? Yes. So I did a video about Delta's Airline Museum, History Museum. American has a cool one I want to do. And then, of course, I want to go up to Seattle, and I've spent a lot of time up there. I just haven't made many videos. So definitely about that. So back to my favorite African airline. I can't say, but I've had some great flying in Africa. More videos to come about that. My favorite, including, I don't know why I didn't think about this, Airlink. I flew their Avro RJ85 or BAE 146 from Johannesburg to Maun in Botswana, and I think that's right. Yeah, that was a fun flight. There's a video on my channel. That was a fun flight. Favorite Canadian airline, domestic or international? I have not flown much in Canada, so I'd have to go with Air Canada. Although I flew Porter. Porter was such a nice airline. Really a great airline, underappreciated. All right, cool. Let's see here. Which airplane is the best? Okay, this question comes up a lot. In my opinion, again, is based on the passenger experience, which is all I can speak to. And that answer is the Airbus A350. It's funny, I was going back and forth this morning with Paul, well, I guess tomorrow for them, with Paul Stewart and Dennis Bunnick, and we were laughing about this. Look, I think the A350 is better. Dennis prefers the 787 because he likes the dimming windows. I don't like the dimming windows, neither does Paul. So A350 wins from a passenger experience standpoint. Here's the question from Fanfee Crocs. Best places to go for LGBTQ travelers. I don't know. I know there's some great resources out there that can speak to that a little bit more directly than I can. I'm sorry. I wish I could be more help in that way. General aviation, will you ever fly Etihad's residents? Oh man. If I'm feeling particularly down in the dumps, if I have a rough day or something, you know what I do? I watch Sam's videos on the residents, and I'm like so happy. I can't. I love luxury in the sky. I think luxury in the sky is incredible, and nobody does it quite like that. And let's see. Somebody asked me if I was wearing pants. Yes, I am wearing pants. Whoa! Thank you so much, Renz. Let's see. I'm from the island of Guam. When are you planning to? Like I said, I've been there 3 times, and because of the island hopper. And there's some other places I want to hit up, like American Samoa and other places in that part of the world. So I'll definitely be back, and hopefully we can meet up for a cup of coffee or something. I usually stay at the Westin there, and it's really nice, really nice. Carolina Chaser Studios, thank you so much. Where did you go? Oh, I lost your question. There it is. You can't wait for you to do the RDU Charles de Gaulle flight. I agree. I think these smaller airports with long haul flights are incredible and kind of a neat way to do it, especially right here near my home. I definitely want to do that sometime soon, as soon as it comes back. Hey, I had a question earlier, or somebody said, I hope that the company fares well, meaning the Brooks Group. So some of you are aware, this is part of what I do. The main part of what I do is helping with my brother to lead our company, our consulting and training company. And look, there is no part of the economy that hasn't been impacted by the current realities. and we're no exception. So we're working really hard to make sure that we fare the storm, and we're fortunate that we have a great team here in Greensboro and around the world, really, who are helping to make that happen. So yeah, let's see. Try the new A350 from Aeroflot. Oh, dude, yeah, I want to so badly. You're exactly right. There's no, I had this real like lofty goal before this all happened, and I think I can get back on board to fly everybody's A350, and Aeroflot is, of course, looking pretty good. Let's see here. Can I be employed at the Brooks Group, Joshua? I guess you could. What do I think about the new airline by the CEO of JetBlue? Oh, Moxie, or what's the new name? They changed it. Yeah, I think that's really cool. I think it's a really look. Any new airline is exciting. Aviation 737. Will I ever go to Roanoke, Virginia? I actually went to college right near Roanoke in Lexington, Virginia, a place called Washington and Lee University, and had a great time and visited Roanoke a lot. What was a different virus? Well, hold on. Come to the National Airline History Museum in Kansas City. Thank you, Tate. I will do it. I mean, like, I think aviation museums are great. I'll tell you this though. Paul Stewart does a really good job of creating videos on his channel about his museums. I think he's got a unique skill set in that way. So definitely check out his channel. I don't think he's been there, but he and I are talking. Well, we were talking about doing something later this year. So maybe we could check out Kansas City. That'd be fun. All right. When are you releasing the new video with the South African Airways from Jason Aviation? Okay, so great question. What I like to do is release videos every Saturday morning, if at all possible. And it's usually at 9 o'clock in the morning. It takes me about an hour per minute to edit the videos. So if you see a 6-minute video, it's probably 6 hours, 12 is 12 hours, and so forth. I have been slammed with my other work at the Brooks Group. As you can imagine, this has kind of rocked our world. So I just haven't had time to edit the St. Helena video or the South African Airways A350 video. So hopefully I can get around to that and get that out hopefully by next week. Renz, thank you so much. Best way to get to American Samoa from Guam is to do the island hopper again a fourth time. I'm all that. Fly to Manila via Philippines, which I flew on their A350 a couple years ago, maybe. There's a video. I love Philippine. That was a great airline. And then Port Moresby. Dude, that's like, yes, Port Moresby is so high on my list too. I've got one of my very best friends is in Sydney, and he and I get together fairly regularly, and I keep trying to get him to go to Port Moresby, but he doesn't seem to be game. But I definitely want to go. Will I go to Armenia? Yeah, hello, of course. I will go anywhere. Kyan Hall, hope I'm saying that right. What did I major in? Okay, yeah. So thank you so much, Liam. I will answer that right now in just a second. My degree is in sociology and anthropology, and then I went on. I worked in Arizona for a year for a consulting company, and then I went to law school, and now I'm a recovering lawyer. As I like to say, planning to try out Cathay Pacific. Cathay Pacific is kind of like Qatar in that it's like this glaring hole in my aviation experience. So Cathay is definitely high on my list, as are JAL, ANA. There's so many like that I'm missing. So yes. Let's see. Aer Lingus. Yes, Storm Callum. So many people ask me to fly Aer Lingus, and I certainly will soon. Let's see. You don't seem to be the type to be a lawyer. Yeah, I realized I liked people too, but yeah. Anyway, lawyers are great. I'm just not one. Will you go to St. Pierre and Miquelon? Yes. What a cool little corner. For those of you who aren't aware, this is a part of France that's here in North America, up off the east coast of Canada. Definitely want to get there. And then I'd love to fly during the summer. There's a once weekly, maybe 737 that flies to Paris. It's kind of a contract thing. I definitely want to do that. United One, thank you so much. Would I ever consider doing the Alaska Airlines milk run? Yes. I flew Alaska. This was well and truly before I had the channel to Barrow. It wasn't exactly the milk run, but it was really, that was a cool flight. I loved Alaska. So yes, I definitely want to do the milk run. Again, Noel Phillips posted a really cool video showing the whole thing. That's worth a watch. Let's see here. Okay. Southwest again, absolutely. Who's my favorite military aircraft? I don't really know about military aircraft, I'm afraid. It's really just a commercial guy. Pretty simple guy. Shout out Plez. There you go, Elijah Lee. There's your shout out. Will you ever fly Cebu Pacific? Yes. I mean, here's the thing. Will you ever fly Finnair? Yes. If the question is the Denver airport conspiracies, it's funny you asked that. We were just talking about that last night. Thank you so much. Is there any airline I would refuse to fly from Michael? No, I don't think so. I mean, I guess if there's like a safety issue, I would, but I mean, I don't think there's anyone that I think, look, I think people who work in the aviation industry are dedicated to safety. Number one, like if you're into aviation and you work in aviation, your focus is on safety. Like, and so I really trust the people that are drawn to this industry. Michael, oh, all right. Will you try out one of Amtrak's trains on the West Coast? Okay, I want to speak to Amtrak really quickly. So I was up in DC, and I needed to get back to Greensboro, and I was just looking for different ways to do it. And so I hopped on Amtrak, and I'd never taken Amtrak. And then I made this video about Amtrak, and I'm not a train expert. I don't know about trains. And I made the video, and it went crazy big for my channel. Like all this, I mean, I couldn't even keep up with the comments. I got some really nasty ones too. But the biggest takeaway for me from that is, yes, I need to try Amtrak again. And Michael Bowman, I absolutely will do that as soon as we can get out there and try this again. I definitely will. Good question. Oh, I was going to say this. If your question is, will you ever fly blank airline? The answer is yes. I will fly that airline if I at all can. Yeah, Q Suite of Qatar, Kevin. Absolutely. I definitely want to try that. I love all the videos that I've seen out there. I mean, Dennis has got a great one. Definitely. Thank you, Ben. Is there an aircraft type you want or fly? I'm going to think that means want to fly. Yeah, I mean, everything that's in the air. I really regret that I missed out on the L1011. I really regret that I missed out on Concorde. I would have loved to have flown Concorde. What's my favorite business class flight? Yours was the Delta One suite from Detroit to Amsterdam on an A350. I love the fact that you're saying your favorite one was Delta, given that your screen name is United One. That's awesome. Yeah, my favorite business class flight. I mean, I'm so fortunate that I get to run through these in my mind. Like, I never forget how lucky I am that this is. I'm going to have to go with probably the very inaugural Delta One flight, A350 flight from Detroit to Tokyo Narita. That was just a really special thing. Favorite airplane food from Elijah Lee. Okay, yeah. I'm going to have to go with Singapore. Just absolutely incredible. I had their first class flight from Frankfurt to JFK, A380, and that was so good. That was so good. Rudy, the last L1011 flight was TWA. I did not realize that. Hey, Aviation 5, thank you so much. Canadian North 737-200 combi. Yeah, so my buddy I mentioned, who's the United pilot, he and I have been talking about going up and doing some of those gravel runway flights. Oh, actually, Sam made a video about it, come to think of it. Sometime soon, that's definitely on the list. Thank you so much. Did you fly a vintage airliner? You know, hey, I had some plans to fly on a DC-3 next month, but unfortunately that has fallen through. So let's see here. Favorite light aircraft. Hey, I like a Piper Cub. I like a Piper Cub. I've never flown in one, but what's the longest flight you've had? Kevin, that would be Newark to Singapore. Jamie, come to Australia and go to Ayers Rock. Check it out. Oh, I want to so badly. In fact, my buddy down there and I, we were talking about doing the GAN. I guess it is the GAN, the train that goes sort of across, up and down, north and south. We want to do that. Please talk a bit about your watch collection. Thank you, JC 00047. I mentioned this earlier, and yeah, I love watches because of the mechanical nature of them and the art and the whole thing. Watches are kind of a thing I'm into. What do I think Sam Chui is fake and he never said? No, I think this is kind of an unfair thing for Sam. I think what happens is you get so successful that people recognize you and whatever, and it's complicated. Look, I think Sam truly loves aviation, and I've had the chance to fly with him a couple of times. And the dude, when the camera's not on, is exactly the same dude as when the camera is on. He just loves aviation. So I think he's a good guy, but and I want to fly with him again. Oh, here's another question. Where did it go? Let me see if I can. There it is. Do you ever feel nervous, awkward filming on planes and in airports? How do you get over that? That's an awesome question, Nick, because yes, I was talking earlier about my very first video that I made where I put my face on camera. It was an Air France A380 first class flight, Dulles, Paris. And yeah, I was so nervous, like holding the camera in the lounge and talking to it. But what happens is you just sort of get over it. I mean, it's like, I'm doing this because I'm having fun with it and all that. The one thing I don't do is really I do my best to not film other people, just because they're not choosing to be on my video. So I usually blur them out or whatever. But yeah, I've finally gotten over the nerves that are associated with filming in public. Shout out, please, for Natalia Cortez. I'm a little nervous if everybody starts asking for shout outs, and I don't know if I can keep up with it. All right, so Qantas is retiring their 747s. Yeah, I know. That's really, really sad. That's really sad. Have I been to Bristol, UK? I have not. Have you ever been to Disney World? I have. Hindenburg or Titanic? Well, that's a happy question. What are your opinions on Philippine Airlines? I had a great time, Elijah, with Philippine Airlines. I really enjoyed it. Jeb, don't give me a shout out. Okay, I will not. Person whose name might be Beryl. Yeah, A380s are getting retired quickly too. Steve's asking if I own any planes like Gemini jets. Yeah, I've got some models. I usually get a model of a plane when a video gets to a certain number of views, like 250,000 views. That's like a really like epic big video for my channel. So I'll get a model kind of an honor. Azores Airlines again. Oh, wow. João Paulo, that is a great question. Yeah, I would love to. I would love to. Pet peeves. What was that question? Pet peeves on a plane. We made a video, Suzanne and I made a video I guess it was last year, with some answers to that. Okay, Tate, didn't I work for Delta? No, thank you so much, Tate. I did not. I have never worked for Delta. I have had the chance to do some cool stuff with Delta, namely behind the scenes flight attendant training and gate agent for a day and all this kind of stuff. So, but I've never done it. As an aspiring AV geek or AV geek, I don't know which one it is. How does one get to film while sitting in the cockpit like Sam with a GoPro? Hey, so yes, Renz, here's your shout out because that's a great question. He did, I mentioned earlier at the very top of this live stream, I watched a live stream that Sam did earlier last week. These weeks and days seem to run together now. He will occasionally coordinate, but to film in the cockpit, which is usually a GoPro, he said, and I might get this wrong, but he said he's got to get permission from the aviation authorities in the country he's flying from and to. He's got to coordinate with the airlines. Like if you see that, it's a lot of behind the scenes work. And then Crayola Krumboya says, how many pieces of clothing do I have since I seem to change shirts in each video? I don't know how many pieces of clothing, but my birthday is going to be celebrated here in this apartment. So maybe I'll count my clothes as a way to celebrate. There's nothing much else to do. Are you going to fly Brisbane when the new runway? Yeah, I've never been to Brisbane. Definitely want to go. El Al. I've seen a couple of questions about El Al. And they're good ones. I think that it's tough to film with them because of the security regulations. Billy Gilbert, do you have concerns about becoming a public figure in the age of social media? I don't know that I'm a public figure, but no, I don't really have any concerns. I don't have a lot to hide. Do you have any tips for people who want to start posting but is nervous about talking to the camera in public, asking for a friend? Yeah, I mean, just do it. Like, I made a video a while back about how I make trip reports, and it talks about my equipment and all that stuff. But the most important thing, I said this, I think in the very opening, like if you want to make videos, the key is to just start and then do it consistently. Like if you look back at any YouTuber's first videos, you'll see how much they transform over time because they get confidence, they get comfortable, they learn, they experiment, they try new things. All right. Let's see. You should go to the Airlines International 2020 in Arizona. Yeah, I want to go to more of these shows. I definitely do. What's the photo behind you? Okay, I was hoping somebody would ask about this. So this is a photograph by the artist Mike Kelly, who is an architectural and aviation photographer. And what he did several years ago was go around the world to various airports and sort of sit there for a day and a couple of days and just capture all of the aircraft taking off. So this is Sydney, and he anyway, he's an awesome artist. I've never actually met him. We've emailed a couple times. We talked about doing something together because he's really talented. King Max TV, are you planning to ever fly Aegean Airlines? I tell you what, people love Aegean, don't they? And I have got to go find out why. So yes, I will fly them. If you had the chance, would I fly Concorde? Absolutely. Is EWR worst airport in the history of mankind? I don't know about that. It has its pluses. What did I study in college? Joshua, great question. I answered this earlier, but happy to do it again. Sociology, undergraduate degree, and then I went on to law school. Let's see here. Let's take a few more questions here. Scariest flight from Peyton Sharp. I really haven't had one. I've had a couple of go-arounds. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the birthday message, Pompey Jimmy. Thank you, Tate. Oh, why didn't I get a Delta Cozy Suite? So that's a reference to the Delta Flight Museum video, or excuse me, the Delta Flight Museum sale video, and they were selling these cozy suite seats, which were like sort of this attempt to, anyways. Watch the video. I didn't get them because they weren't that great. Do you think there will be a merger, bankruptcy in the U.S. industry because of the current events? Yes, Michael, you're hoping for not, as am I, of course. That's a great question. I don't know. I mean, I think that the industry, I said this in a little video I put in the comments. Anyway, the industry, no industry is going to look the same after this is all said and done as it looks now. There's no doubt about that. So, but what those changes are, I just don't know. A new video idea. I'm always into that. Specific flight, Atlanta, JFK to compare. Yes, Benelby GT. I want to do a lot more of these kind of comparison videos, without a doubt. And let's see. Are we going to get a Jeb score on the live stream? Yeah, I will do that. That's a good idea. That's how we'll end this. Thank you, Sam. United One, worst business lie flat experience. I can't think of one. I'd have to look at the Jeb scores. Like whatever seat has the lowest score, which would probably be a 2-2-2 configuration. So maybe that would be like, believe it or not, Lufthansa. Maybe, I don't know. I don't quote me on that. Check greenergrass.com/Jeb score to find out. What is your schedule looking like? What is your opinion on flying Montreal? Infinite Flight Guy. I would love to fly to Montreal. I have been there, but that was before the channel. My oldest aircraft model I've ridden, it's probably something in Africa. We did some flying on some pretty old aircraft there. There's a video on my channel about that. What is the best way to go from the Northeast to Australia? London and then Perth, or do you go to Dallas and then Sydney? Yeah, I think probably heading to either Dallas or the West Coast, and then to Australia. I don't think flying through London makes as much sense. Best birthday memory? That's an awesome question, Grant. Thank you. And I'm going to say it's this. I am having so much fun chatting with you guys. Like this is. I wish we could all see each other, and maybe the technology will come for that, or we can figure out a way to do that. But this is pretty amazing. I mean, I can't tell you how much it has meant to me to be able to have this community to connect with. We all love aviation. We all love travel, and the opportunity to connect with people who are like-minded in that way is pretty freaking cool. So yeah, I'm gonna have to say this is my favorite birthday memory so far. What do I think of the upgrades and improvements to LaGuardia? Dude, that's so exciting. Great question, Jacob. Yeah, I love. I'm excited about the new LaGuardia. Now, I absolutely think Katie Linney needs to settle a debate between her husband and herself. Am I 25 or 45? Seriously, we are stumped. That's hilarious. I'll leave you guessing. I'm kidding. I am turning 37 years old today, so you're right in the middle. So I guess you both win. 37 years old today. Although I had to forget that. Can you show us the photo better? This is probably going to be kind of awkward, but yeah, we can take a little tour. So again, this is Mike Kelly. This is Mike Kelly. There you go. Pretty cool picture, in my opinion. He's definitely worth checking out on Instagram. He has 2 Instagram accounts. One is for his aviation. I'm going to plug my computer back in. Awkward lean. One is for aviation. One is for architecture. Okay. Oh, hey, Elon Musk the gamer. Probably not your real name. It's your birthday too. Happy birthday. Shy Guy Epic. My favorite model plane, fly Ryanair. Yeah, so my favorite model plane is the A350. Mention that, and then I will fly Ryanair. When will you come to St. Bart? Oh, dude, have you seen Paul Winging It Lucas's video? Oh my gosh, it is so epic. One of the best new videos out there by far. That was so cool. So I want to go, definitely. I get scared going into any particular airport? No. What made you choose the name Greener Grass? I am so glad you asked that question. And, because it's my birthday and it's live stream and you can click off if you want, I'll tell you the whole story about why greenergrass.com. So many years ago, call it like, I don't know, 10, 15, our company had come up with this new product, thing. And it was about sort of helping people find jobs that fit them better and helping employers find people who fit them better. And I was like, well, that's like the grass is greener because, the job is better, the employee is better, everybody's happier. So I came up with the idea of greenergrass.com. So I went out and I bought the domain name greenergrass.com and presented it to the owners of the company. I was like, this is this really good idea. And they were like, that's a terrible idea. It's a stupid name. So I ended up having the domain name greenergrass.com. Fast forward to like 2012, maybe, I took a trip around the world. And so I made greenergrass.com my travel blog. Then when I started making videos, I needed to like say something at the beginning. And, everybody says, hey guys, or whatever. So I thought I'd be a little different. So I said, hey, Jeb Brooks from greenergrass.com. There's the whole story of why it's greenergrass.com. Tate is asking about the Shorts 360 and how that flight was. It was memorable because it was my first, but if I would look back on it, the Shorts 360 on American Eagle in about 1994 probably would not get many Jeb stars or Jeb stars. Hey, that's pretty good. I think we're going to call them Jeb stars from here on out. So it's a Jeb score with Jeb stars. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Let's see. Okay. Let's get, hey, Grant Hartman, when will we meet the creative director? That's a good question. We need to get her on, don't we? We need to get her on. That's a good idea. We'll have to come up with a pretty epic way to do that. We'll do it. Okay, let's just do a couple more, and then let's see. Whoa, they're happening fast now. How has your health been now that you've started regularly spending more time in addition to your full-time job? I guess I could exercise more. What is the company I work for? It's called the Brooks Group. We do sales training. Yeah, it looks like Jeb Stars might be gaining some traction. How to deal with crying babies. I think many of you know what I'm going to say. Yeah, that's Bose QC20 headphones, and the crying babies go away. Yeah, I've gotten the feedback that you all are sort of tired of seeing me make faces with headphones, so I'm going to stop doing that. Will you fly the MAX 8 when it is back in service? Yeah. Look, I mean, you're talking about what will amount to be the safest airplane in the sky once all of the work is done with it. So yeah, I would absolutely fly with it. What happened to MH370? I don't know. Where would I be right now if I weren't grounded? I think I'd be here, but in the next couple weeks we had some pretty epic travel coming up, so we won't get to do that, unfortunately. Why do you prefer the inner ear headphones? You know what? I'm happy to talk about headphones. I feel like I am not an expert. I somehow have become an expert. They're smaller, easier to carry than the big ones. So I had the big ones for a long time when I was really traveling. I guess I've always really traveling, but it was just too much extra space. So I picked up, when those wore out, I picked up a set of the smaller ones, and I just prefer them. Let's see here. Can you fly a Lufthansa A350 from Charlotte? Yeah, I hope so. Who's my favorite YouTuber apart from myself? Well, Martin, it's really mostly me. I'm my favorite. No, I'm kidding. Let's see. There are so many. I mean, to say like I have one favorite is ridiculous. I mean, and what's cool is I'm finding new ones all the time. So check out my subscriptions feed in my channel, and you'll see some of my favorites. But there's so many. Let's see. Can I come to Milwaukee? Absolutely. Have you seen the Bose sunglasses? Dude, Creative Media Kennedy, yeah. My mom actually gave me a set of those for Christmas without even knowing that that I was like into Bose headphones. She doesn't watch my videos that much unless I send them to her. And anyway, so she gave me a set of them, and my brother, both of us. And those things are amazing. They're absolutely amazing. Let's see here. Will I fly the 767 when they're retired? I want to say this again. I said it earlier, and I sort of get the impression people are coming and going a bit. So I think that one of the sad parts of everything that's going on is absolutely 100% the uncertainty around job. That's the overarching thing. But the subtext is the fact that these aircraft are retiring and aren't being celebrated. You know. Do I keep amenity kits as souvenirs? Actually, I keep amenity kits not as souvenirs, but as practical, like usable things. So I store wires and all kinds of things in there. Whoa! Thank you, Mark. Wow. Thank you so much. What type of work do you do that has you traveling so much? Your son and you enjoy the videos. Thank you both for watching. And wow, thank you so much, Oliver. Thank you. I will keep it up. So in addition to making these videos, which is really a hobby more than anything, I, along with my brother, have the opportunity to lead a sales training company based here in Greensboro, North Carolina, called the Brooks Group. So we do all kinds of consulting and sales training here. So that's what a lot of my traveling is. Have you had an experience with an airline that sticks in your mind? If so, why? I mean, yeah. I mean, like, as you guys are asking questions about favorite flights or favorite airlines or whatever, it's funny how your brain works, I guess. I sort of cycle through all these memories, and I can imagine sort of what the cabin looked like and the crew and who they were. Yeah, I've got so many great memories. Nick 007, what do I think about Project Sunrise with Qantas? Dude, I am so excited about that. I love long haul flying. And here's the thing. Where else can you walk through a door, sit down for a while, and then walk out the same door and be in a completely different place? The only other thing I can think of is an elevator. And you aren't traveling like as far. So as cool as elevators are. So I bring that up to say, Project Sunrise, being able to fly nonstop from New York to Sydney or from London to Sydney is just incredible. I can't wait for it. What's my shortest flight? Greensboro to Charlotte. I do actually fairly often. Will I fly Aer Lingus? Yes, definitely want to fly Aer Lingus. College Station Airport, CLL. Absolutely, Luke. Definitely want to go there. Would I fly on a pilotless plane? Yeah, I mean, if you know, it is safe and secure and so forth. I mean, I don't know that the technology will exist for that in my lifetime. I don't know. How do I feel about the success of your channel? I am beyond humbled. I mean, I literally did this, started this just as a way to sort of, you know, have some fun. And the fact that it has grown to what it has is just, it's mind boggling. I'm beyond humbled by the success of the channel. What made me like Delta a lot? All right. So Nate Gustafson, it just makes the most sense because of where I live. My friend Reese Craven is asking if I'm using his microphone, and the answer is no. But good to see you on here, pal. You know, my offline friends are watching this, which is fun. It's fun to see people like that. All right, Tate Mobile or Tate Maybe. I'm sorry. I've been to Kansas City. Yes, what an interesting airport. A really designed for a different time, wasn't it? Ever thought of flying out of Greenville, Spartanburg? I would like to fly there. It's kind of difficult because I'd have to fly like from here to Atlanta to there or something. But anyway, are you flying for your day job? Yes, a lot of times for my day job. Occasionally just taking flights for channels. Like if it's an inaugural flight or something like that, I'm usually doing it because it's like a vacation for me. Will I fly Air Koryo? Yes, I would like to, Lance. That's North Korea's state airline. I would love to fly with them. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But I cannot right now because of two reasons. First of all, everything going on. And second of all, as a U.S. citizen, I cannot visit North Korea right now. Do airline staff recognize me when I travel? Yeah, I mean, occasionally, not that often, but occasionally. And it's flattering. I mean, it's crazy to when people do recognize me. And if you do see me out there, please say hello. It's crazy to connect with people who are out there. So. Hey, wow, that is a heck of a androgynous man. Thank you so much. I have never flown on any Russian aircraft. I've flown to Moscow, but I have never flown on a Russian. I flew actually Delta to Moscow many years ago. Aviation 5, thank you so much. How do I get an inaugural flight? You book a ticket. I've not. Yeah, you book a ticket. But what you got to do is keep an eye on like press releases and news about when flights are going to start, and be ready to make movement. So like the A220 kept getting pushed back because the government shut down. The A330-900 Neo, what happened there? Oh, it flew earlier. They were ready earlier than they planned. So my inaugural flight wasn't really an inaugural flight. So am I going to fly the last MD-88? I hope so, but I don't know that it's possible. Gulf Air. Yeah, there's so many Middle Eastern airlines I want to fly. I've only flown with Emirates and Etihad, so definitely want to fly with more Middle East airlines. My favorite airline logo, asks Jack. Delta? All right. Let's see here. What country would you most like to visit that I haven't been to? I mean, all of them. Like that's not a great answer, but truly. Delta flight reports. Will I ever fly out to Valdosta? I feel like you ask me this a lot, and yes, I will fly to Valdosta. Had a friend in college from Valdosta. Come to think of it. What's the future of the 757? That's a great question. I cannot wait to see what happens with that mid-market plane. It's going to be interesting. Let's see. Thank you, Tate, again, from Midwest thought on comeback. Oh yeah, Midwest. What a great airline. What a great airline that was. The cookies. They had cookies, right? How many countries have I been to? I don't remember. 60 some, I think. Airline liveries. Which one is your new favorite? Here's what happens with airline liveries. When an airline releases a new one, all of us in the aviation enthusiast community are like, "This is terrible. I hate this livery." And then time passes and we start to like it. I think United Airlines is like that for me. At first, I was like, "What is that?" But when you see it in person, it's beautiful. That blue is really beautiful. Let's see. At what age did I begin to take an interest in aviation? I think probably. I'm going to finish on this note, and then we'll say goodbye until the next one. Thank you so much, United One. Yes, I would try. Yeah, I saw that video of Scott's. All right. When did I get interested in aviation? I would say when I was about 8 or 10 years old, I got really into aviation. And I live in Greensboro, North Carolina, as you all know. And our airport is a pretty small one. And we didn't get a lot of there wasn't a lot of aviation around, and so it was difficult to find a sort of a sense of community, and so I was sort of on my own with my love for aviation. At some point along the line, I was like, "Well, this isn't cool anymore," and I put it aside, and I stopped getting into it. I gave this book up for good, and that was that. But then a few years ago, really when right before I started this channel, I was like, I really do like aviation. And then that's sort of what pushed me to create this channel. And so I like leaned into my passion for aviation, and amazing things have happened as a result. Like this channel, and the success of this channel is because I simply share my passion for this stuff. And have fun doing it. And I think there's a lesson in that. I think I wish that I hadn't made the decision to decide that aviation's not cool because other people didn't seem to think it was cool. I wish that I had continued just enjoying my own passion. So with that said, guys, I just can't thank you enough for joining me for this live stream. I had a lot of fun. Let me know what you think, and if you think we should do this again, let me know. You know how to find me on Instagram at Jeb Brooks Flies, or Twitter is at Jeb Brooks. And definitely let's stay in touch there, and here on YouTube. Coming up real soon. I promise we're going to get that St. Helena video out about the flight. I also did a little vlogging while I was there. I tried that out. So kind of like what it's like on the island, because it is a little different. Definitely going to share that with you. And then after that, the South African Airways A350 will come out. And then after that, well, we're going to have to get creative, because at least here in Greensboro, North Carolina, we are grounded until at least the 29th of April. But hey, look, guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Tungro Otter. Thank you very much. I have enjoyed celebrating the beginning of my birthday with all of you. I cannot thank you enough. Between now and the next time. Oh, that's right. Jeb score on the live stream. Let me know in the chat, how many Jeb stars did this live stream get out of 10? How many Jeb stars? Between now and the next time, see you in the sky.